Hey guys, so today we're going to be dealing with the area of circles and how we find the area of circles or parts of a circle. The prior knowledge that you require in order to do this is an understanding of pi and what pi is and how pi works. If you don't know how to find pi on your calculator, please locate it before you do this video. So let's go through the basics of what you need to know. Let's start with the formula for the area of a circle. Now, the formula for area of a circle is pi r squared, where in algebra, in between the pi and the r is a multiplication symbol. So it's going to be pi times radius squared, where the r stands for a radius. Let's quickly go through the basics of circles here. When you have a dimension or a length that goes from one end of the circle to the other, we call that the diameter. And when you have a length that goes from the middle of the circle out in any direction, we call that the radius. So for the area of a circle, we need to use radius. Now the trick here is that if they give you diameter, in order to get to radius, we just half it. So if the diameter was 6, the radius will be 3. If the diameter was 8.4, the radius would be 4.2, etc. Here, underneath here, we have a semicircle or a half of a circle. I'm going to write half a circle here so you understand where the half comes from and where we use it later. And then here we have a segment of a circle or a sector of a circle, and we have a quarter of a circle here. Now, it's very important to understand where the half and the quarter come in, because later on we'll deal with questions that involve half and a quarter. Let's move on to just some simple area questions, where the first one says, find the area of the circle given there. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write my formula. My formula for area of a circle equals pi r squared, where radius equals, well, if diameter is 2 there, radius is going to equal 1 centimeter. So let's substitute that 1 into the formula there where the r is, and we can rewrite that as area equals pi times 1 squared. When we put that in the calculator, where we do pi times 1 squared is 1, so it's basically going to be the value of pi, so it's going to be 3.14 centimeters squared to dp. Now you notice here that I've done two things. The first thing is that I have indicated my measurement squared, because area is always unit squared. And the second thing I've done is I've indicated my rounding off, because I have rounded off to 2 decimal places. Very important that you do both of those. Let's do the next question. The next question, we're already given radius is 3.2. So let's write our formula. Area equals pi r squared, where radius equals 3.2 meters. All right, let's pop that in, substitute that into our formula, where we put 3.2 where the radius is. And so we're going to have, area equals pi times 3.2 squared. Chucking that in the calculator, we have pi times 3.2 squared equals 32.17 meters squared to dp. But this is where it gets interesting. Now, in question B, we only have half a circle. So there are two ways you can calculate this. You can either multiply this by a half, or you can divide it by 2. We're going to multiply it by a half, because that's the way I remember it. But if you prefer to divide it by 2, you can do that. So when we times that by a half, 32.17 divided by 2, we get 16.09 meters squared to dp. So this is our total area. Our total area is 16.09 meters squared. Very important that you round off, you write your units squared, and you always calculate the total area that's required. So let's do the third question here. The third question, we're given radius is 6 because you have to understand we only have a quarter of a circle there. So this ideally would be a whole circle, very dodgy circle, but you understand where you'd have a radius there. It's like cutting a cake or a pizza in 4 equal sections. So our radius is already 6. So we write our formula where we have area equals pi r squared, where radius equals 6 meters. So again, we're going to substitute that 6 where the r is into the formula. Area equals pi times 6 squared. Pi times 6 squared equals 113. Area equals 113.10 meters squared, 2 dp. But again, here we only have a quarter of a circle, so we're going to multiply this by a quarter or divide it by 4. Now remember, when you have already rounded off in your working out, do not press answer times a quarter. You need to rewrite the whole number, 113.10 times a quarter, in your calculator. Otherwise, it's going to give you a different answer because you rounded off in your working out. So our total area here equals 28.28 meters squared, and again 2 dp because I rounded that answer off. So here you can see we have 3 different types of questions. In the first question, we were given the diameter, so we have to divide it by 2. In the second question, we only had half a circle, so we had to times the end answer by half. And in the third question, we only had a quarter of a circle, so we had to times it by a quarter. Let's go to a composite shape and finding the area of composite shapes. So I'm going to label this as shape A and shape B. I'm going to split it up into 2 shapes. So let's do shape A first. Let's do the semicircle or half a circle. Now we know the formula for the area of a circle. Area of a circle equals pi r squared, where r equals, what does r equal? So let's have a look at this. This 2.6 is the bottom there. That's also going to be the same for the top there because it's a rectangle. So if 2.6 is the diameter, half of that is 1.3. 1.3 meters. Now we just put that into the formula. Pi times 1.3 squared. Pi times 1.3 squared equals 5.31. 5.31 meters squared, 2 dp. But because we have half a circle in shape A, we only want to times that by half or divide it by 2 to get 5.31 times a half equals 2.67. 2.67 meters squared, and again 2 dp. Now I'm going to highlight this or use a highlighting color to say, okay, that there is this shape here. Just that section there. That is shape A as 2.67. Now let's do shape B. And shape B is going to be a rectangle. So we know the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. I can write that. Area of a rectangle equals length times breadth, which equals 2.6. The length is 3 times 2.6, which equals 3 times 2.6, which equals 7.8 meters squared. And this section here is this section here, this 7.8 is for the rectangle there. So my total area is going to be the pink highlighted section plus the green highlighted section. So total area equals the pink highlighted section, which is 2.67, plus the green highlighted section, which is 7.8. 2.67 plus 7.8 equals 10.47 meters squared. Do not forget your units. I haven't rounded off there, so that is my final answer there. Hopefully that helped you. If you have any issues, please let me know.